as we've done since we've begun all of our 3D, we will begin with our 3D template. Quiet, please. And I'm going to keep our 4 different viewports at the moment. So the first command that I'll show you is the revolve command, which is kind of like the mirror command in that we have a shape and we have an axis, and the shape goes around the axis. I'm recording this, so there's really no need to record on your own. So we're going to draw an axis, we're going to draw a 2-dimensional object, and then we're going to revolve that 2-dimensional object around our axis, and the end result is really cool. So I'm going to start just by drawing our axis line here. Yep, just a line. I'll tell you what, I will put that. I am recording. Yeah. Hopefully I won't have to show this to your mother. So. All right. So here is my axis, which I'll make nice and straight. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Mine's 15 feet, but you can make yours any size you want. Sure. All right, now I'll just go into a different layer. I'll go into my dimension layer, see if you guys can see that. Why don't I do a slightly thicker line here. Now I'm going to draw a spline. We're going to say that I'm drawing like a jet engine here. So spline gives us nice curved lines here. Yep, and you can kind of draw whatever you want, but this is what I'm drawing. So the thing about this command here is I have my axis point, and I can draw whatever I want on one side of the axis point, but it can't pass our axis line. Otherwise, it would be revolving the object into itself, and we can't do that. Edgar?
When it goes around, can you put a base like to block it? Or?
Can you put what? Something?
Like, let's say you're doing I'll explain that.
Okay. All right, so I'm just going to start like right about here. Turn off my ortho. So I'm just drawing a it's going to be kind of a interesting jet engine here.
We drop whatever we want.
Yeah, you can draw whatever you want, but you can see my kind of zigzag line there.
I'm going to draw a beam.
And I snapped on my access point right here, but I didn't go past it. So that's critical, otherwise the command won't work. So here's my line. You can draw any kind of line that you want, or even other shapes. So now I'm going to run our revolve command, which the shortcut is just REV for revolve. And then looking at our command line, you can see the first thing it's asking us for is to select the objects to revolve. So that's going to be our line that I drew. I'm now done making the selection of all the objects I want to revolve, because it's just one object, so I'll hit enter. Yep. I'm just going to keep going. The next thing here, you can see it's asking me to specify our axis. And here we could just click any 2 points we want, but I'm just going to click on the axis line that I've done here. So here's my first point, and you could click anywhere else on this axis line, and as long as you snap to it, and then it will launch the command. So if I go back to, let's see, view, just look at one viewport here. So you can see here's my kind of jet engine looking thing here.
Wait, how do you know it's a jet engine?
Well,
How do you?
Just what it looks like. What do you mean? So here's what the front looks like, and then here's the. Does it want to revolve it? Front. Watch the language, please, while I'm recording. And then here's the exhaust for the back. So you can see that's the revolve command. I have my axis, which you can still see here.
Can I use it again?
And that's the shape that I did, and we went all the way around. What's the question?
Can you revolve again because I don't see it?
Sure. So I'll go to 2-frame here. So let's see, I'll just start with, say, we'll go to our top view here.
Well, how long is that in there?
So I'll draw something else. So here, I'll use the same axis point. See, do you have your axis line?
Yes.
Okay, so I have an axis line. And now, I don't know, I can just draw, say, a number of circles here.
Can we do that?
Sure, do whatever you want. So I'm just gonna draw a bunch of weird circles here. This should be kind of cool.
Can we put like circles inside the circle?
No. Gotta make sure, well, I guess you could, but they wouldn't show up as anything. So I have a bunch of circles, and you just need to make sure that the circles, they probably shouldn't be touching, and they can't go past our axis line, because it's revolving around the axis line. And if it passed the axis line, it would revolve into itself. CAD doesn't like that. So I'm going to run our revolve command, REV, and it's asking me to select my objects. So I'm going to select all of my objects.
And the axis line too?
Nope, because that's not part of the object we'll be revolving. So I'm done making my selection. I've selected all my circles. Now I'm going to click 2 points. It could be any 2 points along my axis line, just like our mirror command. And then it's asking me how many degrees do I want to revolve around. So if I want to go all the way around, it's 360, but say I only want to go 300 degrees. I'll just demonstrate what that looks like. So I'm going to go 300 and hit enter. And now it's run my command. And if I were to go and say a shaded here, you can see what my end result here looks like. Kind of cool. All right, and so you can see, if I can get into my underside here. So because I only revolved 300 degrees, all of my objects are like C's. They don't go all the way around. Zooming in a little bit on that. So you can see here's my axis line, and then it took my circles and then revolved them all the way around, making solid objects, but just not all the way through because I went 300 degrees instead of 360.
Donuts.
Donuts with little bites out of them. So kind of a fun, cool command. All right, now we're going to do another command called the sweep command. So I'm just going to, whatever you have drawn here, I'm just going to move that to the left a little bit. And I'm going to draw, why don't we draw another spline? So SPL is our shortcut for spline. And I'm going to draw this in my border layer, just so you can kind of see it here. And you don't want your edges here to be too sharp. So they're kind of nice rounded edges here. And then I'm going to draw, actually, why don't we draw I'm just going to draw a triangle. So I'm going to go polygon. Get back here. So I'm going to go polygon, and then I'm just going to do 3 sides. And I'm going to draw just just kind of a small triangle here. So what we can do here, I have two-dimensional objects. I have this line here, this spline, and then I have this triangle. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a three-dimensional object out of this by taking this triangle, and we're going to do what they call a sweep, which is going to like stretch that triangle all the way along our path here, which is going to be our spline. So we're going to run our sweep command, SWEEP. And looking at our command line here, it's telling us or asking us to select the objects that we want to sweep. So that's going to be my triangle. I'll hit enter because I'm done with selecting. And then now it's asking me to select the path. And then I will select my path here. And let's see, it didn't like that. Okay, so it didn't like that because it would intersect itself. And that just means that my corners there are a little too sharp. So I'm going to do this again. So I'm just going to do a little simpler spline here, just with a much more subtle curve to it. And we'll try this again here. So I'm doing a sweep, selecting my triangle, clicking enter, selecting my path, and that time it worked. So it made kind of a triangle snake here. You can see this three-dimensional object that followed our path there. Kind of cool. So, and I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to do the exact same thing, but this time I'm going to add a twist to it, literally. So why don't you guys, if that didn't work, that's fine. We're going to do it one more time, but we're going to make it a little bit more complex. So I'm doing SPL for spline. And then I'm just going to do a fairly subtle curve to it. So here is my path. Then I'm going to do a three-sided polygon.
What do you do like eight-sided polygon?
You could do that too, but I think three looks kind of cool. I'll make this one a little bigger. And I'll take these and I'm just going to put them in make them a different color here. We'll do red. It's kind of cool. And now I'm going to do my sweep command again. I'm going to select my object. And I'm going to hit enter here. So I've selected my object. And then you'll notice here we have a couple different options. It's telling us to select our sweep path, or we can add a couple other things to it. So I'm going to add a twist. So I hit T for twist. And I'm going to go 720 degrees. That should be kind of cool. I'll hit enter. And then I'm also going to hit scale here. So S for scale. And here I'm going to put how about I'll go 2, just a number of 2. And I have no idea how this will turn out, but let's take a look. So hit my triangle. Now I'm going to hit my path. There we go. So here what it did was it took our triangle, it swept it along our path. It also twisted it. So you can see our triangle is twisting as it's following our path. And it enlarged it, what did I say, 150% or 200%. So our triangle at the end here is twice as large as the one here. So it's actually growing as it's twisting.
What's the twist angle?
Twist angle? That is how many times it's twisting. So I set mine to 720, meaning that the object is spinning twice, 2 full rotations as it goes up to the top.
What's the name of that command?
So that was the sweep command. So we went through sweep, and then we discussed revolve. Was the first command that we discussed. So just sweep and revolve, two commands that we discussed today. We'll get to that another time. So that should be enough to get you through today's assignments. This concludes the lecture, so that one you save and submit. This is just revolve and sweep. Any other questions on this? Very good.
That goes on the paper face, right?